3,300. It's a nice tight pin.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us here today on the VSO Gun Channel. It's the moment that we've all been waiting for. Today we're going to be pushing on some barrel pins to see how much force it takes to move them. And for that, I sent the Wasser 10 underfolder that you guys saw all this week on the channel to Brian Keeney of Occam Defense. He has a pretty nice setup there. But before we get going, and I'm not going to kill any of the suspense here for you guys, Brian and I came to consensus that the lower limit of this test for all AKs, no matter who makes them, should be 1,000 pounds, and the upper limit, like the too tight limit, should be about 6,000 pounds. So without further ado, we're just going to allow Brian to take it away.
Hey folks, Brian Keeney with Occam Defense, helping Curtis out here on, we're going to measure the amount of force it takes to move the barrel pin on this Romanian Wasser 10 here. And it's the one I believe you guys have been seeing elsewhere in this video and other videos. What I've got here is a press that we've outfitted with a scale so we can read out the force on the pin in pounds. It's pretty well calibrated. There's a couple offsets, but it's good to do a percent or so. So we're gonna just see, there's gonna be two measurements: how much it takes to get this pin moving, and then how much after we've bumped it and gotten it moving does it take to sustain movement of it. Normally I try and figure out which way the pin's been driven from, because as the pin goes in, it gets skinnier and it gets fatter at the where it's just recently gone in, so it looks a little pencil shaped. You're going to get two different numbers based on whether you're pushing this taper out or forcing it more in. So normally you can tell. On this one it's clean enough where I can't tell, so we're just going to try it both ways here. I'm only going to move it a couple millimeters each way. All right, here we go. Here's the first movement, and I'm pressing from the non-fire control side right now. Just coming up tight here. Okay, we just started to get tight. I'm going to back that off a little bit. Come off a little bit. Right about there. I'm going to zero this out. Okay. Now, I'm just going to look real intently here. See the first moment that I see it moving. We're up to 2,500 pounds. 3,300. It's a nice tight pin. I think I'm feeling it moving now. 41, 42. No, I'm not feeling it. Woo-hoo! That was a tight pin. I won't have seen, but hopefully it caught on the video there what it broke off at, but I bet it was 5,000 or 6,000. Okay, that's quite tight, which I don't really have a problem with. I'll push it a little bit further now that we've gotten it to pop, although I don't want to move it too much further. Let's see here. Okay, there it moved again. Now, as we've gotten it free, it's moving more at, like, I think I saw 4,300 to get it to move there. Okay, now I'm going to do exactly the opposite. There we go. So now again, I mean, we shouldn't really have to break anything loose here, but we are going to change directions, which could cause it to pop just a little bit here. Actually, I'm gonna re-zero again. Okay, we're getting tight. Just checking with the cameraman. Cameraman, you can see that? Okay, great. There, see that? It just moved there. I don't know if we probably got around 4,500. I'm gonna bump it again. I'm feeling it moving, so we're like at a sustained 43, something like that. I'm just going to check that it's symmetric, and we're just about back where we started there. So we're looking at about, 4,000 to 5,000 pounds probably. I mean, you guys saw it in the video. It tends to spike up, and then as soon as it pops there, it'll release. So I was focused on the pin. You guys know the number better than I do, what that value ended up being. My overall feeling of this is that it's on the tighter side, but boy, I sure like them tighter rather than looser up to a point. All right, Brian Keeney with Occam Defense. Back to you, Curtis.
Wow, that pin was really tight. Now I'm kind of wondering about this AK63D here. This is a Hungarian kit, and I really do like this gun. I might have to send this one to him next. But Brian did have a bunch of other guns in the shop that he took the liberty of fleshing out this test for, so we can get a lay of the land of what's going on in the AK industry these days.
Okay, so this is a gun that I just rebarreled, and let's have a look at what it's doing. It's an old kit, so I had to use a slightly oversized pin. I always push them in from this direction, so on this one I'm just going to keep going the same direction here. Okay, I'm going to just back off a little bit, zero my, well, it's quite well zeroed, so we'll just stick to where we are with that. So, cameraman, you've got a view of the readout? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm just going to look for... That's moving, so we're at 2,000. Yep. Just a nice, easy... There's no popping, like... But I take a lot of care with... we ream our barrel pins, and so they slide in. There's a lot of gliding going on and not a whole lot of popping and clacking and stuff. And it doesn't mean that the quality's lower, it just means that we like stuff that's silky. Yeah, I forget what that was, 20 some odd hundred. So, you know, that's a perfectly acceptable number to me. Hey folks, Brian Keeney back again with another gun that we're testing the pin, the force required to break the barrel pin free, and then the force after we've gotten it moving. After we've broken it free, what force is required to keep it moving. So same setup, I'm going to zero my scale out right as we make right before, yeah, we're right there, we'll be fine. So now I've just come tight. And now we're going to come up and see how much force it takes to just get it to move. Okay, I just felt it go. So we're sitting at, it was 2,500, something like that. Now let's give it another pump here. 26, something like 26, 23 for actual steady state. So, yeah, nice middle of the road number. We're not getting any clanging, nothing scary. It feels very normal to me. So there's a close-up there of the pin having been moved a couple millimeters. Testing another gun. This one is a RAS-47. I've not pressed the barrel pin on this one before. I have pressed a new sight block on, but I didn't touch the barrel pin, so it's virgin from the factory here. All right, away we go. Okay, we're touching down, and I want to choke up on that a little differently. I'm just going to get back. Okay. I'm happy with that now. Okay. I'm not sure what that went to, but it was, you know, it's not necessarily terrible to have a pop like that. That was pretty violent, but whatever. Okay, now we're sitting at like a 1,300. 1,200 kind of thing for a stroke. So that's a reasonable press fit there. I'm not sure why it felt the need to clang on us like that. It could just be that the joint is dry and we were breaking through some oxide. So this one, you know, not unreasonable, not falling out.
Well, there you have it, guys. So that was a look at a couple different data points across the spectrum of AK quality. Special thanks to Occam Defense for performing this test for us, hooking this up and doing all the pressing for us. Hopefully I'll get my Wasser 10 back. But seriously, I just think that this was a video that needed to be done because I've seen the figures thrown around, everything from the 20,000 pounds, which I don't even think people understand what that number means, to knocking them out with a jeweler's hammer. So I just think that it was information that needed to be out there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll see you guys on a future video. Like, share, subscribe.
Oh yeah, there's that stool.